Hello, teacher friend. This is Denise Lee, the creator of this personal finance digital course. So why am I calling it a digital course? It is all Google Docs and or Google Slides that are interactive and student-led. So the biggest difference between student-led instruction is that teachers are not feeding the information to the students via PowerPoints. Students are discovering and finding the lessons themselves. So I'll give you a few examples of how I do that in my class, but first I want to give you a tour of this lesson library. When you purchase this bundle, you get 14 folders, which are the units that make up this course. So the 14 folders are career and income, budgeting, banking and money management systems, payroll and paychecks, and so forth. So you see them over here listed on the left in the green. Those are the units. In that download, when you buy off of Teachers Pay Teachers, you get the 14 folders, but you also get a bonus, and that bonus is this lesson library. This lesson library has all the links to those resources. So the reason that I did that is because I wanted to not only provide the resources for the teachers, but I wanted to also provide an opportunity to have a lesson library in the order in which I recommend teaching the material that is a one-stop shop for teachers. So you can see here in the purple, I have video suggestions for every single unit. These videos, it says here, are 15 minutes or less. They're actually, most of them are under 5 minutes. They're just quick, engaging, previewed by me videos that have to do with that particular content. I start sometimes the class with these videos. Sometimes I end the class with the video. I do recommend, though, that you preview the video so that you know what it's about, so that you're able to give a good verbal introduction to that video to your class. And then you see here in the yellow, the middle section, those are all your student resources. So you click here, and you are then prompted to make a copy of that, and then you have that copy forever. I actually recommend, since you're making a copy of this lesson library, that you change the links from the copies to your copy so that you're not prompted to make a copy every time you click on this. You would do that just by unlinking, see remove link here, and then relinking by highlighting and going up to the link your particular resource, your copy of your resource. So you can see some of the units have several activities for students to complete, and some have a few. So you can see here that banking and money management systems has, I believe it has 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 resources in it. But if you look down here on identity theft, there's only one. And why? The reason why is because some of these units are so much more important as far as stickability with students in high school. And they're going to need to know that information right away. So when I did this course for myself, I wanted to make sure that my students were getting instruction on the content that they were going to need to know, period. But I also had a list of things from the National Business Education Standards that needed to be taught. So I'm teaching everything, but some of them are just much more comprehensive units so that the students are getting the material that they need to be educated young adults. You can see budgeting is a pretty robust, comprehensive unit, as well as paychecks and payroll. So credit scores, pretty intense. So that being said, those are all of your student resources. Clear over here to the right are your teacher's keys. Now, some of the activities are subjective and ask for students' opinion or asks them to use their critical thinking skills and come up with a conclusion. But I tried to give a suggested kind of like what track your students should be on the teacher's keys. A lot of them are cut and dry, right or wrong answers, but I did provide the teacher's keys for all of you. And if you look up here at the top, this is a formative lesson library. This is how I assess my students, and these are all digital You can absolutely customize them how you want to customize them for the units. There are no tests or quizzes included in this course. I grade all my students on the digital activities. Did you complete the digital activity or not? On 3 ways. Is it completed? Number 1, that's 10 points. They're all worth 25 points. Number 2, was it completed on time? And that's 5 points. And number 3, were you considerate in your answers and responses? So I'm not really checking them verbatim like every single thing, but I tell them, you have to show me that you know your stuff and you get the points. So I also give them formative assessments, and these are these quick little formative assessments, but there are no summative assessments with this course in my class. This is a personal finance course. It is an elective. It is not required in my state yet. I'm hoping that it is. But at this point, I'm not giving summative assessments. So I'm going to give you a tour of a couple of resources. Let me start with the saving and investing resource. You can see that this has 5 sections. So when I say student-led and there's no PowerPoints, how are the kids getting the information and how am I sure that they're getting correct information? I would start the class by showing one of the short videos in the lesson library under saving and investing. And when you look here on saving and investing, how eating out keeps you poor is a great one. I think it's only a 5-minute video, and money management tips for teens I would show. Then I would go to my saving and investing and I would say there's a difference between saving and investing, and both are very important. I want you to open this link. I would tell my students, this is the link that is the vetted link that's flattened, that I flattened, where they're going to get the information to complete this digital activity. So of course I'm a teacher and I don't want my students to copy and paste. I want them to read the information, and then I want them to be comprehensive in their answer by what they read. So you can see in section 1, in your own words, list 3 ways that saving and investing are similar. By going on the saving and investing flattened link, this is how they're similar. So they're going to read all of this. They can't copy and paste it because it's flattened, and then they're going to put the responses here. Now I would tell them, I'm going to give you 5 minutes to do section 1 and 5 to do section 2. So you can do 5 minutes, set your timer. I always set a timer so students know that I tell them 1 minute left, and then they're working and they're getting their information. Then I have them share with me their responses. So share with me their responses. Someone tell me one way that investing is similar, and then tell me one way that savings investing is different. And then they're sharing their responses. After we do that, I'll say, now let's go down and talk about and discuss and discover some pros and cons in saving versus investing. Here are list 2 pros and 2 cons of saving. And then this one, of course, is of investing. Again, I might give them 7 minutes to complete the 2. I let them work together if they wish. They're on their, we are 1-1 in our school district. They're on their Chromebooks. They are then putting their responses. And then again, we share. And then the last section is, this is how I would end the class. In your opinion, which is better, saving or investing? Please explain your answer in 2 or 3 sentences. So again, students are asked to give their critical thinking. That's one way that you can do it, where I'm guiding the students through it. They're finding the information. So you see there's no need for a PowerPoint. Students are leading the discussion and leading the discovery aspect of this class. Now there's another way that you can do it, and it would work great with this one, but I actually downloaded this bank charges. You can see there are 18 bank charges. So I had a class of 22 kids last semester that I taught personal finance. And what I did was I started the class by saying that bank charges is a reality. I also talked about how when my dad passed away, my eyes were open to all the ways the banks could charge you, and some I didn't even realize existed. So I say, why do you think that banks even charge fees? And then we have that discussion, and they put their response here. Now they click on this link. Again, it's an Investopedia article. It's a flattened link to discover all the different types of bank charges. So what I did for this particular class, there were, I think, 22 in the class. There were 18 of these. I assigned one of these to each of the students in the class. Now, I had a few kids left over, so I knew who worked well as partners. I also knew who could use a little bit of extra help. I get life skills students up to gifted students in this class, so I often will pair my life skills students for scaffolding and for differentiation and for kind of peer help. So I knew who I could pair up and they would work well together. So after everyone was assigned a bank charge to investigate from this vetted link, then I told him, I said, okay, I looked at my watch. I said, you all have 6 minutes, go. And in 6 minutes, in their own words, they had to describe the fee. And then what can you do to avoid paying this fee in 6 minutes? Now, if I see they're not done, I give them extra time, but I always let them know that time is coming down and it's time to share with the class. So then the students are responsible for reporting their findings about their bank charge to the class. As the students are taking turns responding, then their peers are completing their digital activity with the findings from their peer, their classmate. So again, student-led instruction. The students are leading this instruction. This is an excellent way to teach when you are teaching so many classes throughout the day. It's also an excellent way to teach when you are teaching so many in a row. Last year, I had 6 classes in a row before I ever had a break. If I was teaching this by PowerPoint, I would be talking literally all day. So this gives me some breaks where I can actually go around and whisper to some kids about maybe assignments that they missed while everybody's working, or just really connect with the students, or go to my desk and take roll or whatever. Now, we ended the class with review how to limit bank fees, which is a section in that link, and list 3 ways that you can limit bank fees. And then I give them about 3 to 5 minutes to complete that as a class. And if you have students left over and they don't have a bank charge to do, then you can actually assign that section to them. But just look over these digital activities before you assign them so that you find the best way to instruct them. So again, student-led instruction, it is magical. Just wait, you will see. It is the best way to teach. Ditch those PowerPoints. Now, I'm not going to say that I never teach PowerPoints. I have some PowerPoints that are full of pictures of examples I use in marketing class, examples that I use for the investing unit, because I visited Wall Street several times. I actually studied on Wall Street in 2012 with a bunch of other very talented educators. So I show those pictures to the kids, but that's different. What I'm doing is really trying to bring education to life in my classroom. So once again, thank you so much for allowing me to give you this tour of my personal finance curriculum. I hope that it is as much of a gift to you as it has been to myself to have everything mapped out for my semester. Before I rest, I just want to say, if you go down to this housing unit, there is a home buying project that is so unbelievably engaging. The kids in this home buying project are buying a home. They're discovering, and this project works through this with the students, how much a down payment would be, if they would have to pay PMI. They get to actually look for a home, and then they get to outfit the home with a budget for the 4 most important rooms in the home. When I initially assigned this to my students, I was going to allow them, I thought, 3 class periods. We have 45-minute class periods. They were working so diligently and they were discovering what things cost. They were working so well together that I let it go on for several more class periods because they were so engaged and they weren't done. So I want you to look at this project before you assign it. Know your audience, because when they're buying stuff for their bedroom, sometimes we adults have to guide them. Okay, you bought a mattress. Did you buy sheets? Did you know that that mattress doesn't come with a frame? Do you have pillows? Well, you would probably want pillowcases. Do you have a blanket? And the kids are like, constantly smacking their lips and saying, I just can't believe that I have to buy, like, look what sheets cost, or, oh my gosh, look at the price of these mattresses. So again, the home buying project is bringing together probably 8 things they learned in this curriculum. Make sure that you set aside some time for that project. And I allowed 2 weeks, 10 class periods. They printed them out. We hung them in my room and they were amazing. Again, they're learning budgeting. They're learning about the process of buying a house, what it costs for closing costs, down payment, what's expected at closing, and so forth. How they qualify for a good credit with their credit score, and so forth. It's amazing. So congratulations on your decision to elevate your learning in your classroom to perhaps student-led instruction, and let me know how it goes. Thanks for listening.